Hello there, YouTube. We are back with some more match play commentary for y'all. I'm joined by the Brother Bear, the Kaiju King, the Quackity McQuackerton, TJ.
Meow. Can you
Ciao.
do? All right. Imagine for a moment. What if like Digimon did a collab with Metabots?
I'm so down.
Because of there's a whole thing. Wasn't there a whole thing? Am I crazy? I can't remember.
There was.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure there was.
There's some sort of collab thing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that would be kind of crazy.
But we do have some more match play commentary for y'all. These were filmed over at Dean's Dugout, which is the local card shop that we go to every Sunday for Digi. Pop off at about 12:30. They're a nice mom and pop shop located in Naperville, Illinois. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, want to check them out, want to join us for Digi, like I said, we're there every Sunday, so feel free to swing by. But in today's feature matchup, we've got Jorel playing Mastemon on the left, going up against myself playing Imperialdramon on the right. I've just been like trying to switch things up a little bit, getting a little stale from Mirage, so testing out a few different things. Imperial was one that I've been meaning to play for a little bit, so figured we would bring this since I forgot my Angels deck at home that day. So it was a fun matchup, definitely a lot of good back and forth, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this. A couple of things before we hop into the round itself. If you like our content, you enjoy what you're seeing, and you want to support us handsome boys on the channel, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. And lastly, check out our socials, which are linked down in the video description below. It contains our Twitter, Discord, Instagram, all that good stuff. The Discord in particular is where, if you are wondering what lists we're running or what our builds are like, just ping us over there. We will try to usually direct you in the right direction if, one of our players isn't available or isn't around. There is always a easy way to get the deck list in the Discord. That's probably your best sort of avenue in finding those things. So check it out. Like I said, in the video description below. But without further ado, let's hop right into the round over here.
So, you mentioned you were wanting to play. You forgot your Angels deck at home.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
literally just sped over from work that day, and I was just like, "Ooh, yeah, let me pull out Angels." And I was like, "Wait a second, that's a
So is this your Imperial list or is this somebody else's Imperial deck?
This is my list. It is very heavily based off of Bryce's, our national champion and recent regional winner. I did change a few things just to kind of make it my own, but it is based off of his.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, if there's anyone to have a decent point to start off of for a build, it's definitely Bryce.
Yes, shout out to Bryce the homie. But a little rough start for me. I don't see a rookie, so I'm forced to just play out a dual tamer and an XV, and Jorel's just starting to do his yellow-based nasty shenanigans.
He's seeing stuff right out the gate, He's just kind of going.
Which is, if you're playing yellow base, I mean, that's sort of what you want to do, right? It's just basically, if you can high roll with Pada, that's your avenue in.
It's what you need to do, for sure. And it gains memory, yep. I mean, 2 Gatos to start is scary. That's
and then he drops a Miri for free off of that, and then he plays a Lady Devi to pop my guy.
Dude. Having the new Lady Devi and Angelmon being able to play out Mireis for free is insane. Also, he already has a master, he's ready to go.
He is ready to go.
And I feel like you go for it here. No, you just go ahead and
that's what he says he's gonna do.
Yeah, just
it's a very fair play. I mean, turn 2 Masty is huge.
Yeah. Just get some more cycle. Like, sure, you lose a security on yourself, but I think you don't super mind that right now, to be honest. I think you're fine with that.
He does play out a Gato, which will let him search for a few pieces, and then he goes into the BT11 Andromon, which will allow him to Andromon X. And then since Masty DNA'd, the Pada does refresh, so he will gain another memory, keeping turn.
Yep.
And then recovers the security that he lost with the Angex.
Back up. Dude, my God.
I know. It's absolutely crazy. I was like, well, this is not good. But we do see a rookie.
That was, whew. And I believe he has Alliance because of the Angelmon, correct?
Yeah, and at this point, I was like, I'm not gonna play anything out because if I do, Masty has a very fair chance of just popping me if I can't see my full line. So I just decided to XV in the back, and I was like, it feels bad, but I just pass because there's no other better way to pass turn.
Does Pata only add a Digimon, or does it add
I want to say it's just a Digimon.
Okay.
So he's debating swinging here. He will pop the boost and then go into the Geograve for 3, and then he goes ahead and plays the BT11 Mirei, which will allow him to recover 1, gain a memory off of Pata, and then he can go ahead and swing here with Alliance, 2 checks. Does live. 17k, big guy. Big lady.
Yeah. Actually, no, he can grab a yellow or a black card. There's 2 more colors, so he could grab anything.
Oh, true. Okay.
But it's a Yume. He doesn't have to, so.
And then he decides to drop a TK Cody. Pass turn.
Yeah.
Which is
Now,
not
I
bad.
think putting you to 4 is a bit scary.
Yes.
We
We do pick up our 2, or we pick up a Stingmon at least. We go into the Sting for 2.
Yeah.
And then here's where I can start just like doing stuff.
Yeah, you get a little crazy now.
I'm gonna Pail, so we will gain. I guess I should have gained 2 memory off of the 2 guys, and then gain a memory off of
The Davis
and Ken.
So you should be up at 5 right now, technically.
Yeah,
You pick 3 sources to strip, so you just strip the Angelmons.
and then I swing, and then the minute I do that, I'm like, shoot, ace.
Yeah.
And
So does that
it's-
-6?
I pray because I'm a fool.
Wait, why are you? It was only -60, right? You have jamming, no?
But I swung into the Geogray. That's the problem.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when I did that. I was like, oh,
I
I'm
see
a
what you're
fool.
saying. I see.
Mhm.
Okay. So you grab a Davis there. So that's tough. That is a tough stack to lose. You do grab a Dragon Mode and a Worm.
Yep, I give him 4 off of the
And-
Davis, then he goes to 5 off of Mirei.
Yeah.
And here is where I'm just like, oh dear.
Yeah. So a lot of shenanigans.
They
Pata
are still
does whiff.
suspended because
they're
of
locked
the
down.
Payo. Goes into Gato for 2. He can just keep searching and finding pieces, which, I mean, at this point, he should have anything that he needs right now. Has the BT11 Lady Death to hand.
Yeah, being unable to. I mean, he doesn't even need to be. Yeah, he can just get a little crazy with it now.
Mm-hmm. He's just deciding what to do here. Yeah, go ahead.
I need to see the Mastemon Ace. Now I know to Ace Evo,
Yeah.
it needs to see both specifically Angelmon Lady Devi, but it can still DNA from any purple level 5.
If you're just regular
Yeah, level
DNA, then it's anything.
Yeah, if you're okay. So you can use the Angelmon X if you wanted to, for example, here.
Right. It looks like he's debating a couple things. He's got the ace in hand, and he's also got a Domini, which he's debating about going into. I do like Domini in this, mainly because, you do let your pieces stick or find ways for your pieces to stick.
I mean, Domini is an insane card, and as we've recently had some stuff going on with it, it is even more insane than I had thought.
Mm-hmm. So he does go into the Masty Ace here, which will allow him to play something from hand or trash. Decides to play the Angelmon from EX-06 to give -2 checks in theory to... Wait. Oh, okay. So what he's doing is that he chooses to play it out and then put it to bottom, because you can pick any card to put to bottom of security stack.
Okay. And then he pops your card
off
of
of the other starter deck Masty effect.
Sure,
Since something that's played
makes
via
sense.
effect.
Okay. And then he's just looking at the Domini, which I think is fair. Oh, no.
Instead we'll Ordine so he can get
Okay.
that extra check in. Hammer Spark will just give me the turn back.
Yeah. And then he needs to, he's just making one big step.
So it is a little rough, but we do go ahead and play out a Wormmon here off of the Davis and Ken. And luckily I believe I am seeing the BT12, at least one BT12 Sting or XV, if I'm not mistaken, which is huge in helping me keep turns. We do go into the XV.
Yeah.
And we just play out a Worm, which will then allow me to go into the Sting from trash. For reduce cost of 1, we DNA Evo to another Pail. We'll gain the 2 and gain 1 from Davis and Ken, and we'll strip the Ace source to gain 4. And then strip the retail source. And then
Sure.
one more. I think we stripped the Pata here, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. And you are bigger than the Angelomon.
I am, but I'm now like after I got burned by one like ace.
You're
I'm
worried
like,
about another
well,
Masty
another
ace.
Masty ace, yeah.
Which I actually think Jorel does not have in his hand, looks like. So you go
Mhm.
ST Dragon Mode. Okay.
Spit out
Spit
the
out
two
two more
bodies.
bodies.
Go in a fighter to bottom deck the Angelomon ace just to get rid of it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Gain the overflow, and now I can pile once again.
Yeah.
And we go
So
ahead
pretty-
swing. Yeah.
Pretty decent comeback from you. Yep, you have jamming, so you're good, and you want to suspend. You're able to swing again if you want to. You'll have fire mode ace swing.
Bottom
Into
deck, since it
the-
is a suspended, since we do have a dragon mode in
Well,
this
it's end of attack. It's supposed to
deck. Ooh, true.
bottom deck. It's not when you're attacking. You unsuspend it and then you bottom deck something,
Okay.
which doesn't matter because you're
luckily,
fine off the check you
yeah.
would have done, and then Paladra checks the caster grade, which causes you to lose that, and then turn pass back over to Jorel. Now, grabbing back board back from Jorel is crazy. I do feel like he probably.
Domini might have been a better call.
I
there,
think Domini
feel
would
like.
have just been better, yeah, to sit on Domini instead of risking the checks with Ordine. But admittedly, also too, you have like what, one Hammer Spark, two?
Two.
And yeah, so it's also not super likely you're gonna hit it, but it is something to be mindful of because there's a lot of security bombs in Imperial.
Yeah. But he does go into the Gato. Hard playing it will proc the EX-06 Mirai to let him go into a Lady Dev for essentially free. We'll suspend Mirai as well to gain a memory, so we go back to 0, and then we play out a Angelomon due to the BT11 effect.
Yeah, to give sec -2 to him, and then you already go ahead and Digivolve it off the Cody effect.
So
Well,
here's
then you go quick.
so he never declared it, so I'm like, okay, well, let me just like, because I have a bad habit of like doing stuff for my opponents, and then they're like,
Yeah.
wait, let me sequence it. So I was like, okay, I'll let him sequence it out, but I'm sure he's gonna de-digivolve, so I'm just waiting for it. But then I'm like, wait, I can de-digivolve. He's like, wait a second, I didn't sequence that right. So I'm like, I can still do that. He's like, no. He's like, I missed it. I mistimed it. Just go ahead and, attempt to pop the pile so you have your partition. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, I missed it. I gotta learn. I was like, okay, but that is pretty huge for me because that gives me 2 bodies to float out.
Sure. Okay. I said, what's he thinking? Okay, and he does just play Angelomon Ace to pop one of your guys, and then he'll be able to recover. And then he'll use her end of turn effect, because it's not once per turn, her end of turn. Well, it hasn't even been used yet, actually.
Nope.
So he'll be able to DNA into another Masty,
And
spit out another Angelomon.
Yeah.
The Angelomon gives sec minus.
It's like
already
-2,
pops
but
off
then the
the
other
mirror,
mirror,
the
the
Masty effect,
Mastemon,
yeah.
So he still ends up getting rid of it, but I think he probably could have done a little other, like, different plays, because this one was sort of geared towards just getting rid of the bodies. But anyways, we do start turn by playing out a BT12 Vmon to just pick up a piece. And we go into a Stingmon for 2. And this is the scary thing I feel like with Imperial, is just like, you give them anything more than like 2 memory, I feel like they just pop off.
Yeah. Oof,
No XV, which is a little rough.
Yeah, no jamming. And you have to go into ST Pale, which is also tough.
We
You're
do
always
strip,
supposed to get some memory.
we
One more
strip the
source.
Gato.
Yeah,
Just to
makes
like
sense.
prevent any like Ordean shenanigans, and we bottom deck a 6k DP or lower, so getting rid of the potential ace threat there, which is nice. And I'm like, well, I need a swing, but if I die, I don't have jamming, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
And I'm thinking about, well, do I have enough memory to maybe go into something else? But I don't. So I think I just say YOLO. We go ahead and swing.
You could hard evo into a fighter mode, or you can go dragon mode into fighter
We
mode.
do live, big guy live in,
Potentially.
because we hit a Pata.
Yeah, that's very lucky.
And then we just go into
Well,
the...
I mean,
Mm.
Maste has a lot of bodies in their deck, but a lot of them are like 7k or 6k or less. Like they're not, like the only thing you guys would be worried about is like hitting like level 6s or higher.
Yeah,
which
but
a lot of
we're
them
able
have already
to
been
hammer
on the
spark
board.
off of the Evo into the new Imperialdramon to gain the memory, go into fighter for 2, and then we ended up being able to swing twice.
Yeah, so you're good.
Squeaked it out.
Good game 1. Good back and forth. Honestly, you made a
Yeah.
huge comeback there. It was super risky. It was not looking good for you, and you managed to like wholeheartedly bring it back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, you know, just playing Imperial a little bit more, like the new Davis and Ken is just huge gas, right?
Right.
And then having multiple like end of turn evos, and then your BT12 staying in XV to just gain potentially like 3-4 memory depending on how many tamers you have out when you DNA evo also is just like crazy efficient.
For sure.
Because none of the other DNA decks have that, which is why I think this one just stands out compared to everybody else, you know? Besides the whole pro tag energy that our game tends to has, you know?
Dude, if I pray for the day that we get BT12 similar, like level 4s for Aquila and Shaco.
Yeah.
If genuinely, if they get ones that gain the memory off of DNA, that would be so big. It'd be so huge.
We just start rookie rushing. By searching, picking up pieces. We pick up a V to start, and we pick up a new BT 16 Imperial. Jorel still has no rookie, so we just end up playing a Gato.
He does hit 2 targets.
Yeah. The ace target was like, meh. Why you gotta be there?
So now he kind of puts you in a position where it's like, well, you kind of need to get rid of that Gatomon, otherwise he might start popping off next turn. Potentially.
And I don't see a Pile or anything, so I'm like, well, let me just like do my best to choke.
Yeah. I wonder if it's...
I
guess you don't want to risk giving them the free ace evo there, huh?
Yeah.
Off of a early chip. Why did you put the Drachmon on the board? What happened there?
I was just finding ways to put Drachmon. Drachmon will make another appearance,
gotcha.
I believe, as well.
Okay, of course, as he should.
As he should.
Okay.
But Jorel does end up evoing. Going to Masty. We'll play out a BT11 Angemon to pop my other Wormmon. Which I think you're right there. You know, I think at that point it's just like maybe better off
even
just,
if
like, forcing him to make that decision, you know, and if he chooses to let me chip, I chip.
And I mean, either way, you get the chip in because you have 2 bodies there, right? You have
right.
And he can't recover just yet, so I feel like it probably would have been worth just to swing both worms, even if the AC Evo did come out.
Which may end up coming up relevant towards the end of the video. Wink, wink, wink. But we do go into a Stingmon in the back just for 2. I think that's usually I feel like that's usually the solid play, right? You just like set up a level 4, wait for your like end of turn Evo shenanigans next. Next play?
You can do a 4. You can set up a 4 or just leave it on a rookie. The only time leaving it on a rookie is bad is if your opponent has Digimon Emperors. Right. But obviously going into the 4 in the back does save you memory. You made the right choice by going Worm in the back. I do think that Worm in the back is often the better pick. Aside from when it's of course the BT16 Wormmon who has to evo for 1, unfortunately. But if you're using the movie promo or the starter or BT12 Worm, I feel like they're the better ones to evo in the back over Vmon, just to give you that green source in case like you only have a Davis or whatever else, in case because you can get the blue source tamer a lot easier.
And I'm not seeing a Pyle here, so I'm like, I don't want to like risk it and push up the Sting and then end up losing it, as bad as that feels right now.
Sure.
So I was just like, let's just go Lydra or Raydra for 3 over the Worm, choke as best I can, and just like wait for the next turn to hopefully see what I need.
Yeah, and I mean, like, yes, Jorel's establishing a board, but he hasn't done any damage yet. He's been not really pushing any aggression, so it's leaving you in a position where you're kind of just like, okay, I'll just chill. And I guess I don't see. I feel like he should have swung there.
Yeah.
I feel like being passive is just not conducive to a good. I mean, I don't. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm capping, but I mean, you have Domini there to protect you from effects. You're 13k, so like the only thing that really spooks you is if you're fighting like against like a BT12 fighter mode. Or if you somehow have the BT16 Vmon under there giving you DP boost, but otherwise you're running the draw eggs, so it's like, I don't know.
So we did go into the starter deck Pyle. I attempt to bottom deck the Angemon. Domini will proc, which will allow Jorel to trash top card of security. To prevent that, we play out a Vmon and we pick up a fighter mode. And here I'm just like, I don't really have a great play. Because I'm missing just a couple pieces here and there, which is a little rough.
Sure.
we're like thinking about, yeah, we do go into the starter deck Imperial just to, I think at this point I'm like, let me just play out another worm, and then we'll play out the play out Sting. I was like, wait a second, it's got to be blue. So we play out another Veemon here, and then we just search off of the worm. I'm able to pick up another worm and a Davis and Ken. I'm just like, oh my goodness, all the rookies.
Boards take it a little crazy. That's what Imperial like to do. And you technically have the ability to like end a turn, DNA, and do some other stuff if you wanted to as well. At this point, at this point you're worried about swinging because of the
ace potential.
Yeah. That's the other thing too with this timer, because I know we've had the whole timer conversation, a couple of times now.
So double hammer is
going to be relevant. Oh, okay. Well, that works.
And I'm like, well, bottom, get rid of that Andromon. He's like, well, the mini again. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh.
But at a certain point, I feel like, I don't know.
I need
security now.
Yeah, I was like, well, let's just do it. We'll swing. And he's like, well, yep. You activated my trap card. I was like, oh, there it is.
Just call it and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mastemon Ace just bottom decks bounces anything to security, right?
And then now he can string out a bunch of effects. He plays out an Andromon Ace, which will allow him to pop my Lydra, play it out something via effect to pop another rookie, and then he'll trash till I have 4. So it gets rid of 2 security from my end. I'm just like, well.
Now his board state's crazy.
Yeah. The mini is huge because being able to just say, nope, my stuff is sticking.
As long as you have security. Which he did for... Or no, I guess he didn't. Oh, he'll be able to activate the Andromon's effect in a second here.
And Andromon, yeah. I totally forgot that Andromon 2 was in all turns, which is wild. Like anything...
Did he... Or no, I guess he hasn't removed anything from security yet, so never mind. Thought he was going to.
And then we DNA again.
Yeah.
Another Masty.
And I mean, I think...
At that point, I'm like, yep, my rookies are gone.
And then both Mastemon's effects will proc to pop your board. The Gato will hit the board. He'll be able to get some search. He'll be able to gain memory. And at this point, it's yikers.
At this point, it's hugely yikers.
It is big yikes right now. Unless even if a Gigadeath comes out, it only bottom decks 1, so...
Swing. They both end up living. Well,
Domini
cannot proc, right? Because it's battle, correct?
It's battle, so he cannot use the mini there. So that technically that Mastemon should be gone.
Does go into a BT11 Angelomon. And he's just kind of sequencing some recovery memory stuff right now. And I think with the Patas being live because of the DNA, he does gain the memory back. He does go back up to 1. And he's just debating what he wants to do here. And he's like, I'm going to go to 3 regardless. He'll just play out another Gato, search for pieces, picks up a Lady Dev and Domini, and then taps Mirai to allow him to go into Lady Dev for cost of 1.
Yeah.
And he says,
effectively for free. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, well, I don't know.
That's a board state. That's a... That is a board state and a half. The funny thing is technically a Imperialdramon still just stuns that board.
Yeah.
Imperialdramon just goes, all right.
I just was not seeing that.
And then just goes, yeah, your board can't play the game right now.
So we go into an XV, and I'm like, okay. We can try to sequence things out, and that's sort of the fun part about Imperial 2 is that there are like a lot of things you can try to do. Like with Worm, can help me save turn.
DNA.
He's thinking that I will go into the Pyeel. And here, I think I psych myself out a little bit. I go into the starter deck Pyeel to attempt a bottom deck. I'm like, wait a second. Let's not do that. Let's just do that.
Yeah, BT16 just on the board.
And then we tap the Davis and Ken to strip sources. So we do strip an Ace. Strip the Angel.
Game member where you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Now the blocker inheritables are gone.
I
mean, technically, you could just start swing unless he has a master. Well, for Mastemon Ace, does it have to be on board or in hand, or does it have to be specifically in hand? I don't remember.
It has to be 1 each, I believe.
When you specify Digimon, one specified card in the hand. So yeah, so he has to Digivolve using a Lady Devi or an Andromon in the hand.
So
but
at
he
that
does
point,
have both.
I'm like, with how much he has in hand, I'm like, he has to have it. And then I attempt to bottom deck the Masty Ace, thinking I was like, well, let me try to do something. And we were also in time, I think, at this point too. So I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna waste any more time here. I think like at this point, unless I keep swinging and force him to like trash security from the Domini, like I can't really do anything.
Nothing on suspense because of Paldra.
Yeah. And then he's just gonna Ordean. I'm like, okay, sir.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, not Ordean. Ultimate Chaos.
Ultimate Chaos. Yeah.
And then Ultimate Chaos. We do have Partition. And then he goes ahead to swing, hits a fighter mode. And then Ordean's here. And he takes game 2, and we're like, okay, that's a draw.
Yeah. That's crazy. That is...
That was a game.
Yeah, I wonder...
That was a game.
That was definitely a game. Man. Sure.
That's crazy. No, but I mean, like, all shenanigans aside, like, this is definitely something I was missing for a long period of time, was sort of that back and forth. Because I think you alluded to it game 1. And I think game 2 had a very good amount of back and forth as well, of just like both of us trying to respond. And I felt like a lot of times I had to like really think about like, okay, like what can I do to get myself out? Which was really fun. Like I really enjoyed that part of it.
You know what? It almost felt reminiscent of like a BT8 match, man. Like classic BT8 when we had the Masty and Imperial structure decks first drop, and then we had all the support in BT8 for both those decks.
Yeah.
It feels like a callback to that. That was actually a really cool match.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun playing it, as I always do, going up against Jorel himself. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it just as much as we did. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. But anywho's, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for tuning in as always. We do appreciate all the support, and hopefully we catch you on that next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.